Hello everyone, my name is Akshay and welcome back to a brand new FPL video. In today's video there's going to be quite a lot of things to talk about. I'm going to go through my roundup of how my team is doing in game week 20, comparing it with the overall managers, the top 10k managers and the legendary managers in FPL. And then I'm going to talk about my transfer plans and the upcoming game weeks with the different fixture swings and stuff, because at the moment there is quite a lot of things coming up and it's going to start to get a little bit more complicated. So I just want to break things down for you guys and make sure you guys understand everything that's going on in FPL, especially in the upcoming game weeks. Just before we get started, I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who supported me in the first week of me doing FPL content. I really appreciate all the love. And if you would consider subscribing and liking the video, that would mean so much to me. But anyway, let's get into it. So to begin with, a roundup of my team and how it's doing at the moment in game week 20. I've still got 5 players left to play. I've got Akanji, De Bruyne, Harry Kane, Haaland and Rashford to all play still. But the defense did alright. Pope, Trippier and Botman kept a clean sheet. Trippier with 3 bonus points as well. Akanji was a bit of a letdown, obviously getting a blank with Man United coming back to beat Man City, but as a football fan I'm happy with that because I'm an Arsenal fan, so it helped Arsenal out, but in FPL terms it didn't really help out. All my midfielders returning apart from Rodrigo as well. Saka with the assist, although I believe he should have had 2 assists. I think that was really harsh to take the first goal off him because it wasn't a huge deflection. De Bruyne get an assist as well and then Rashford scoring. But my man Rodrigo, as I was so bullish on him last week, he was so unlucky. I was literally shouting at the TV like I was a Leeds fan. He scored a goal which got disallowed and he went around the keeper and shot and then the ball got cleared off the line, so he was so close to scoring 2 goals basically. But yeah, it was just very unlucky, and then all the strikers in my team blanked. Enquiries could have scored a hat-trick. He had 3 pretty much big chances, or 2.5 I would say. So that was very unlucky as well. And then Harry Kane also had 3 shots saved by Ramsdale, which are very good saves. And then just Haaland, the big disappointment. He hasn't had an XG that low all season when he's played 90 minutes. It was an XG of 0.2, which is terrible for Haaland, but it is what it is. He's got another game coming up. Tottenham have been woeful, so hopefully he can just bang in a hat-trick or something. And I was also so unlucky off the bench. I have 20 points sitting on the bench, and in the last 2 game weeks I've had 36 points on the bench, which just hurts me to say that. But Kepa keeping that clean sheet and getting the 3 bonus points was extremely annoying. Bueno just is doing very well at the moment when he plays. And then Garnacho, I've just had him as a cheap sub, and he returns quite a lot actually. He got an assist at the end. So yeah, but I was never going to start Garnacho, let's be honest. So I can't really say, oh, I wish I put him in, because it was just never going to happen. And now I just quickly want to compare how my team has done in the overall rankings, the top 10k and against the legendary managers of the game. So overall, at the moment, even though I have scored 54 points, which is decent, I think, because the average is 40 for this week, with the -12 it is 42, which is why I have, at the moment, taken a down arrow in the rankings. But if I didn't make the -12 hit, then everything would have been lovely. So if I'm comparing myself to the top 10k and the legendary managers of FPL this week, the top 10k have scored an average of 48.24 points, and the legendary managers have scored average of 46.44 points. So I'm not really too far off, and if I didn't take those hits I would be way ahead of that, and I definitely would have a green arrow at the moment. But like I said, not too worried. I'm very happy and confident in my team going forward in the next few game weeks. I've planned accordingly, so I wouldn't really look too much into it at the moment, especially if your ranks dropped and you've taken hits. But anyway, now moving on to an important part of the video, I'm going to be talking about my transfer plans for the upcoming game week, especially in game week 21, and also some fixture swings and stuff happening. So this week I'm very likely to roll the transfer. I'm going to wait until the last moment to make any specific decisions. I do have plans to downgrade Saka to ODEGAARD just to free up some money, and ODEGAARD, for the value he is, I think you get a lot out of that. Compared to Saka's 8 mil. Also, Arsenal have an upcoming double game week as well, so I definitely don't want to get rid of my Arsenal players. That's the last thing I want to do, but I think I could do a little bit more, freeing up a bit of money by downgrading Saka. And then if they do win that game and get onto the next round, then Man United and Leeds would have to either win or lose in the next round of the FA Cup in order for the very likely double game week 22 to happen. But it's very likely only if that happens, so fingers crossed they both win or lose. That was a big part of my risk taken to have a punt on him away from his great fixtures coming up. But I just have a question, especially if you're a Leeds fan with Rodrigo. If you saw my last week's videos, you know how bullish I was on Rodrigo. I think he's an absolutely great player to pick in your team. But with Bamford coming back and also with the signing of Rutter, which I think got confirmed yesterday, how, to Leeds fans, how is Rodrigo's minutes going to be? Is he still going to be basically playing 90 minutes every game? Or even like his positionings, is he going to be playing up front? Or like when Bamford came on, I think he moved kind of to like right wing, but he was playing extremely deep. So I'm just a little bit worried about that. That's the only concern I have with him. So if you're a Leeds fan, please do let me know in the comments what you think is going to be happening with your attack, especially with Rodrigo in the upcoming game weeks. But yeah, just moving on to my initial transfer plans for game week 21 and the upcoming game weeks. Like I mentioned, I'm most likely going to roll the transfer because I feel like I did set my team up very nicely for the upcoming game weeks by taking that -12 hit this week. I don't really need to do that many changes with my current team, especially with the potential of more upcoming double game weeks as well. So I'm really happy with the way my team is standing at the moment. But in game week 25, that's a very, very big game week because there could be some huge blanks in that game week. The first time there's been that many blanks all season. So Man United, Brentford, Newcastle, Brighton, Leeds, Southampton and West Ham, Forest. So it's all dependent on who gets into the EFL Cup final. Man United versus Brentford, Newcastle versus Brighton, Leeds versus Southampton and West Ham versus Forest. Whichever one of the teams in the semi-final of the EFL Cup do get into the final, then their games in game week 25 are going to be postponed, and including the teams that they're going to be playing against. So for example, if Man United and Newcastle get to the final, then Man United and Brentford, Newcastle and Brighton, who they're meant to be playing, those games are going to be postponed. And then for example, Leeds and Southampton and then West Ham and Forest. I definitely wouldn't use any chips in game week 25 though, unless your team's an absolute mess, because you've got 3 game weeks to essentially plan for that. So yeah, I wouldn't start stacking up on players from any of those teams until after the semi-finals have been done, just so we know who's going to be playing in the final and who's going to be blanking, because that could be a big difference in you guys saving transfers or being stuck with players from those teams, and you're screwed if you make premature decisions. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. Please do let me know what you guys are thinking and what your plans are in the upcoming game weeks. I would love to hear them. Tomorrow's video is going to be the best possible transfers you can make based on the predicted points for the upcoming game week 21, so make sure you don't miss that. But if you did enjoy this video, please do consider subscribing to the channel and also giving the video a like. It will help me out massively and I really appreciate it. But other than that, I will see you tomorrow for the next FPL video.